It's like we be talking about, like, you know, living in nature, getting out of the matrix. When most of us say this, we're literally talking about going to an environment that, has some remnants of a natural essence and then turning it into a farm. Many people have asked I and I, like, on this tribe, like, oh, why we don't see y'all making fires? Why we don't see y'all with big farmland?
How big is
farms are the fall of humanity. A farm is from the Neolithic period, right? So they call it in contemporary science. But see, when we are able to contemplate on life, we realize that the Neolithic era is just of how Neo was going into the Matrix. So Neo got to get out the Matrix, and this God speaking. So Morpheus, to make your mind metamorphosize and become what it's designed and initially intended to be, I and I must literally mirror what they label as hunter-gatherers. They're not even called hunter-gatherers, by the way. Nikosi Baba is going to be the first to actually decode this for I and I here in this family. And for those that sight and are seeing what we are doing and what our trajectory is. Hunter-gatherers are not hunter-gatherers. They're gatherers that hunt like 5% of the time. Hunter-gatherers, so to speak, literally are gardeners. They live like elephants. They live like the buffalo. They live like the lion. They live like the giraffe. They eat, and what they eat, it flows through them, and they're just one with the environment. They've been on earth for, you can't even put it in Babylon time. There's no time. This is the land before time. And I have this trajectory. This is what we represent. This is what the saying in the Bible is when it says, so it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Most of us on earth have a westernized, Europeanized perspective. So we think that means, oh, so it was in the Bible. That's how it's going to be. But see, these people can't even read and understand the book they wrote. The Bible is talking about before there was even an instruction book, because we already had the instruction. The Bible is a basic instruction before leaving earth. I and I have an Bible instruction before you can live eternally. And we don't even have to have it written in papers. It's written in stone. It's written on the hearts of the chosen. So we use the template so we can contemplate on life. We use the template of hunter-gatherers. They eat 90% plants. They don't farm. They have the most harmonious impact on their environments than anyone on earth. Farms is a new thing, by the way. This thing is just from the last couple, farms is actually yesterday.
Yesterday, literally.
When we think of real life, it's eternal. Modern humans, majority of humans on earth eat farm food. Whether it's a plant or animal, it's farm. Animal husbandry is farming. All of the crops are domestic. Everything is domestic. They live in a domestic home setting. They have a domestic relationship. They have domestic violence. Everything is domestic because it's no longer in its natural wild form. They call it wild, but this was the instructed form of the Most High. The Most High dwells with what you call hunter-gatherers right now. And that's why it's clear what Nikosi Baba is. Because this is the only reality. Even I and I as Rasta in Jamaica, we talk about, return to nature. But then when we're going to move to nature, what we do? We want to farm. They have a saying, if you have farming, you won't have famine. Like, meaning if you farm, you won't have any, food shortages. When in reality, when we only had famines on earth came from when we started having farms, because we have to clear the land, which is destroying the vegetation, the trees, which is now causing soil erosion, which is going to compromise the waterways. And when you don't have waterways, you don't have no more food. Now you have drought. The only reality is getting away from farming. Farming is the matrix. It's a big square. You put everything in squares and plots. You get a plot of land. And no, we don't do none of this. We are nomadic people. We move where the food move. We have bases all around the continent. You see how we live. We have bases in the Caribbean. I don't need paper for land. The whole earth belongs to I. This is the Most High speaking. Every food, there's so much food. A wise person So you see a extra smart man, he's so smart, he dumb. An extra smart man, he plant a farm so he could benefit from it. How selfish. This is why he will have a life expectancy.
Right.
But an eternal cosmic being, he plant trees that he don't even know if he ever gonna eat from. He's just planting.
Well,
Not even planting, he's just dropping it. It's like birds. What they call seed dispersal.
Not planting.
So this is the reality, and I can't live this way with just anyone. It's like what Dr. Sebi said in the interview. He said, you know, it's hard for me to have a woman because some women just don't understand me. And that's part of why the world killed Dr. Sebi. Because Dr. Sebi, I am Dr. Sebi. Because the world could never kill me. Christ is speaking. God is speaking. Prophet Muhammad, can you hear? You believe in God. Can you hear? Can you truly see? This is the mirror of life for you to actually see your true image that goes beyond age. So, yeah, man, it's clear. And with vision, you know, we won't have no division. We got to have life vision so there's no division. You know what I mean? We're even beyond even our reference point, see gold. We're beyond even the label of a hunter-gatherer. The trajectory is to return. While using English, we're just simply going to the earth. I'm not a farmer. You don't have to farm. Farm is when you're trying to control what's already in control. That's like, yo. Farming is no different than somebody trying to make the heart beat when the heart is already beating.
Wow.
You're trying to put a pacemaker there for the heart that's already pumping blood. So, yeah, man, let's return to life because life is the only road. Even a lot of I in Jamaica, if they cite this, they would say, what type of Rasta man this? No, sir, I'm not telling enough to plant and don't grow enough food. You see, humans, we've gotten to a place where we want to be instead of just being. So it's like, it's not even a human being. It's a human that's trying to be a being. If we were being human, then we would be human beings. It's deep, man. And you see, when we eat farm food, the farm food has a life expectancy itself. It has a shelf life.
Right.
It's only been on earth for a certain amount of time. When we eat real food, wild plants, when we know how to be able to decode what's what and which one is going to actually serve its purpose, at that point, those foods make you live eternal. How we talk about eternal life, but we're not eating eternal food. We eating food that have a expiration date. What do I mean when I say the food in nature is eternal? Meaning like it's been there for before you could even fathom what a time is. There's not even no time. Farms it's a new thing. Farms became relevant when we started trying to calculate time and stuff. And started writing and, you know.
Yeah.
But I represent the ancient, you know. So if we really want to be ancient, we have to realize that everything in Babylon ain't shit. So, yeah, man, it's just a big shitty. The biggest shitty on earth, you know. So, we could grow forward and come out to all of these ways to the point where we just talk through one language, you know. Every night, I have I. Them sitting there. You know what I mean? Guy that you like grow, I might just like that. I have I. That's what the thing said. Natural, you know? Yeah, man.